So strange. Seems like Asta and Arlen are in trouble. Still, it all sounds like hearsay to me. Better keep them in the dark for now. Himiko seems to be on good terms with the folks in the space station. Maybe I should tell her first.
It must be difficult for Asta. Being the lead researcher isn't easy. As soon as the Legion exits stage right, in comes the gossip. How does that saying go again? Greet enemies outside with a smile, greet enemies inside with a sword. Such is the Herda company culture. What do you mean? This is such an inconvenient situation. Are you thinking of getting involved? Well, while these rumors have nothing to do with us, they do concern the reputation of young Asta, and turning a blind eye is not the way of the Nameless. Solving a matter like this won't be difficult. Predictably, the crowd cares more about the drama than the facts. Stopping the rumors from brewing is more important right now than laying out the truth, and it's better to unearth the source of the rumors directly than to painstakingly try to refute them one by one. No, that's not what I meant. I have a friend. They say there isn't a single piece of station gossip she doesn't know about. First of all, it's not me. Secondly, I don't make friends just for the sake of gossip. It's just that my friend is pretty amazing, and I think you might be able to extract some information from her. Let's see. Right now, she's probably slacking off somewhere outside the department. I don't know her real name, but she calls herself Gossip Monger.
Ask the conductor about what happened. It's getting late. Where to now? I can't see anyone slacking off. Maybe Gossip Monger isn't around? The rumors are already circulating. Let's gather some intel first.
Gossip Monger only concerns herself with gossip, not the secrets within. There aren't many members in the Herder group, but news is still traveling so fast. This must be the work of something bigger. Given the number of people in the group and its content, could this all stem from a few alt accounts? But why kick up a storm like this?
Why are you still here? Didn't your department call you to prepare for the emergency operation?
No. I just sneaked out for a little while. What are the odds?
I got a group message 2 minutes ago saying that something's happened in the Special Purpose Lab. Somebody's trapped. The security department's blocked off the area around the entrance.
The Special Purpose Lab? Then wouldn't Pamela, I mean Gossip Monger, be...
Most likely. No wonder she's not here right now.
walkways around the Special Purpose Lab have been temporarily closed off. Please keep your distance. I'm afraid this is a live situation. It's too dangerous. Wait. Brother Arlen told me about you. If you insist on going, then I wish you the best of luck. Be safe.
You're Brother Arlen's friend. The security department received information about sightings of Legion remnants in the vicinity. However, we just confirmed that there are monsters here that have never been seen before. The security department sectioned off the area immediately, but we lost contact with some people. Did Arlen ask you to investigate? Great, I've made some new discoveries. Did you see it? Look, it seems like the rumors about the station are true. There are Stellaron traces here.
Good luck figuring that out. All I know is that monsters have destroyed the power supply installations here. The elevator is out of commission, so the people stuck on the floor below can't make it up.
It happened so suddenly. The support from the security department is still on the way. We're low on staff right now. All we can do is make sure the monsters don't make it up here.
There are plenty of backup power sources in the storage zone. Right opposite, if I remember right.
As soon as we can restart the power supply, we can get this elevator working and rescue everyone.
From your chain, disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. My turn.
I'm on guard.
Don't mess with me.
You couldn't have done it without me.
What a headache. A one-time enemy.
Lands at the ready.
Try that again. Don't mess with me. I'll end your misery. What a headache. Time for swordplay. Strike with heart.
Told you I could fight. You can't run!
Who's next? A sharp scythe needs targets.
Well, did you find the backup power source? Thank goodness you're here. Give me a moment. I'll give the elevator a little shake-up. All right, you can use it now. Be safe.
Help! Somebody help! Wait, the elevator is here.
We lost sight of Pamela. There's a terrifying monster over there. We didn't dare to go over on our own. Please save her. We'll take the elevator up.
Please!
I'll end your misery. How many can you block?
My turn!
I'm on guard.
You couldn't have done it without me.
Oh, holy mackerel, you scared the stars out of me. You took your time. That's right. I'm the one you're looking for. Of course. Not only did I know you were coming, but I also know why. You want to know who Richard Know-It-All from the Heritor Group is, don't you? Fans of Madame Herta. They call themselves the Heritors. I'm a businesswoman, and we play by our own rules. If you want the scoop, you have to pay the price. Certainly not. I have a very clear notion of how much different favors cost. I don't have any particular hobbies. I do indulge in a little tittle-tattling here and there, not to mention admiring of a certain scientist. And now here you are, vanquishing monsters left, right, and center. I heard you're with the Astral Express. How fortunate. As it happens, I'm a huge fan of Himiko. An amalgamation of beauty and brains, the epitome of a graceful and gentle scientist. Can you help me take a high-def portrait photo of Himiko smiling? Please? Make sure you capture her electrifying smile. The one that stuns people into a trance. That 1,000,000-volt smile. Well, what's the matter? You know Himiko well, right? If you ask her, I'm sure she'll say yes. A superbly beautiful, dazzling, electrifying portrait shot of Himiko in exchange for the secret behind Richard Know-It-All. Send the picture over when you have it. I'm always fair when it comes to haggling.
Did you find Gossip Monger? What did she say? I knew she was weird. There are many types of friend. She's the type you can only stay friends with if you never meet her. It's okay. It's just a picture. I don't mind. Go ahead. Let me see. Hey, you're pretty good.
Huh? What are you taking pictures of? Why do you sound so nervous all of a sudden? Suspicious.
I didn't expect to see you here. Didn't you say you were really busy?
I am. The Legion has only just retreated. The station is in absolute shambles. Now any progress in rebuilding things has been ruined by the reappearance of the Fragmentum.
Oh. An active Stellaron is rarely a cause for celebration. What did Herta say about the Fragmentum's appearance?
You know what she's like. It's like nothing's happened. She's just sitting back and giving orders. If there's time later, I want to talk to you both in more detail about this. You're the Fragmentum experts, after all.
Anytime.
I need to go. Someone's taken my family encryption key. You know, the one I used to withdraw my allowance? I need to get to the bottom of it.
That might be the whistleblower's so-called evidence. Looks like you don't have much time to lose.
Welcome to the station.
Doesn't fit Gossip Monger's descriptions. She said, a young man with black-rimmed glasses and a slanted fringe. Doesn't fit Gossip Monger's descriptions. She's...
And you are? And you are? Oh, well done. You found me. So, you're here about the lead researcher's corruption. Anything for a good story, huh? I don't get it. You people live your lives for gossip. Wouldn't it be better to apply that drive to your research? Madame Herta would be delighted to see everyone working so hard. Who do you think you are? The space station's next lead researcher? Please, only upstanding and intelligent people like myself are worthy of such a position. You gossipers need to figure out your place in the hierarchy. You want the scoop? Fine. I've backed it all up anyway. Here, take it. And let it be known that I, Richard Know-It-All, do not spread rumors. This is the receipt. See the title on this purchase order? That's what I call substantive evidence. Of course it is. If I had any doubt, I'd have kept it quiet. I picked it up a few days ago when I was collecting a package. I saw a few receipts requiring the lead researcher's signature. The security department's head honcho, Arlen, he left pretty quickly when he saw him. We all know he's on her side anyway. So I had a peek, and whoa, she's buying equipment for the space station under her own name. I've got her now. Jeez, do I really have to break it down for you? The space station has its own financial procedures. As long as the purchase is for the space station, no matter how big or small, it has to go through the organizational account using the station's allocated funds. The payer here is her private account. She's totally embezzling station funds for herself. I'm so disappointed, so hurt. She looks like a sweet enough girl, but not only did she fail to repay Madame Herta for promoting her, she even stooped to this. I was so angry, I was shaking. I broke out in a cold sweat. That amount of money? Herself? Who do you think she is? Fleming's daughter? Anyway, now you know everything, so leave me alone. I still need to write a report about this for Madame Herta.
Seems like it's all just a scare. But it's easy to make rumors and hard to dispel them. I better let Asta know. It's getting late. Where to now?
You can't waste money like this!
This isn't wasting money! The IPC's budget is so stringent and, the process takes so long. By the time my application would have gone through, too much time would have been wasted. Do you know how much hardware was destroyed when the Legion attacked? And how many cables are currently out of order on the station? How is it my fault when I'm spending my own money to solve everyone else's problems? Give my encryption key back.
I won't!
Who gave you the right to tell me what to do with my money?
You did!
I might have done that, but this doesn't count as wasting money.
How is it not wasting money? We lost that finding device you bought during the Legion's invasion. All you had to do was check the inventory, and we could have replaced it. Why did you make a new order? And that Starnaut fleet from the last time?
I did make an order, but it didn't go through. I was just trying to improve security measures to make sure attacks like this don't happen again. If the money wasn't spent, then it doesn't count. Anyway, are you here for something? Please, tell me why you're here. So, you think Richard was the one who stole my encryption key. So, he was the one who started the rumors. Huh. That fits.
It feels like she's not surprised.
I'll deal with that immediately. Please don't worry, Miss Asta.
Yeah, go. Wait! Leave the encryption key here.
That's a separate issue. We'll talk about the encryption key later.
How can you... Finally! You're here! This is urgent, so I'll cut to the chase. Arlen's disappeared. Yes, I can't find him. He's not answering his messages or calls. In all the time since I took him in, this has never happened. Of course, I didn't see him. Parts of the surveillance system were destroyed when the Legion invaded. It still hasn't been fully repaired. Maybe he took advantage of a blind spot. It's been 13 hours since he last contacted me. He usually takes less than 13 seconds to reply to my messages. I looked everywhere and couldn't find him, so I checked the security department's work plan records. This is what I found. Look at his last work objectives entry. Of the heart, of the mirror, of the self. It's so strange. Don't worry about those. I asked people in the security department, but none of them thought it was concerning. They said stuff like, Brother Arlen is a grown man with his own plans. I couldn't get them to listen at all, so I'm asking you for help. Oh, I have a secret weapon. Say hello to Peppy. Peppy's my dog. Arlen's looked after him since he was a puppy. They're great friends. Peppy knows Arlen's scent. Maybe he can track him down. Yes! Think about it. If people see me, the acting lead researcher searching for Arlen, wouldn't that make Arlen look incompetent as head of the security department? Oh, let's go together! Relax. Peppy doesn't bite. That's Professor Capote? Are you sure Arlen was here, Peppy? Weird. Why would he visit this Casanova? Look at all his fans. Need I say more? Behold, the winner of the Most Awesome Researcher contest. It's better if I don't show my face. See if you can get some intel out of him.
I must confess that I too was terrified. Petrified even. But there remained a light in my heart. A light that led me onward. That light was the happy smiles on all your faces.
Master Capote thinks about me!
Oh, it's you! Long time no see. Are you okay? You look troubled. That's quite a wrinkled brow. Come, join the others and listen to me recount the tale of the Legion's invasion. I'm sure your memory of the events will dispel your worries. The Antimatter Legion barely missed me, and that's when I saw your faces. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be standing here today.
Long live Master Capote!
Aha! I see you no longer look troubled. There is only one word to describe your expression. Enlightenment. Such is the power of my rhetoric. It creates an energy that uplifts the soul. Arlen? Yes. I know him. After all, my calling is to light up the heart of every person on the space station. As to his current location, forgive me, but I cannot tell.
Insert dramatic pause and sudden drama here.
Everyone knows the most important word in my life is principle. Huh? Without principle, what difference would there be between a person and a mechanical arm?
Wait a minute. Last time he said the most important word in his life was illumination.
We need to update Master Capote's Life Wiki! This will be version 12.0 of his life keywords.
Anyway, I do not lie. I can tell you that I did indeed meet Arlen recently, and I know where he went. Regrettably, I already swore on my life that I, Capote, would never tell anyone Captain Arlen's secret. You don't understand what I'm trying to say at all. Crises, disasters, these are just mirages of the material plane. A person's character and the vows of humankind are most precious. They must be protected at all costs. All you see are the minuscule risks of the immediate situation. But did you ever consider that if I, Capote, abandoned my principles, then the hopes and dreams of hundreds of fair ladies would be dashed? I am their lighthouse, and I will never allow myself to be tainted.
Oh, Master Capote is so considerate.
Wow, the cringe is strong. I need to remember what I came here for.
Seems like you already know what kind of person I am. Seems like you already know what kind of person I am. Captain Arlen had a similar expression to yours when he found me. He was anxious and desired an answer. But answers are not easy to give. Besides, he wanted to master a trial of the heart that would thoroughly change him, and that would be even more difficult. I can't even imagine the difficulty of the trial. I was tired merely from the act of imitating that way of talking with him. Thankfully, he... Aha! No more. No more.
His words match Arlen's work plan records. Seems like he does have key information.
I didn't say that. Did you mishear it? What I said was, life is a trial, and you need to be true to yourself. So, I know nothing about anything you said about Captain Arlen. I need to head to a meeting now. Can we talk later?
I can't let him get away like this. If he doesn't want to tell me, then...
Don't joke about that. Promotions have a strict assessment process. I did hear that the space station gives special benefits to morally upstanding researchers, but those are just rumors. Even the oldest staff have never witnessed it.
Stop looking down on Master Capote! He's not the kind of person you think he is.
Master Capote's Life Wiki version 4.0. Master Capote doesn't care about rank. Everyone knows that.
Even if you promoted Master Capote to acting lead researcher, he wouldn't tell you about the trial.
Indeed. I won't forsake my precious morality for something so base. How could you think up something so terrible? You're not just lost, my friend, you've completely strayed from the narrow path. I need to give you a thorough education on human ethics. We'll need to sit down and go over it slowly.
No need to bother Master Capote. We'll fix this injustice for you ourselves.
Wow, the cringe is strong. I need to remember what I came here for.
They went through everything with you? I'm sure you reflected deeply on your actions. Well, I'll pretend I never heard the things you said. Think before you act in the future, please. Of course, if you haven't reflected enough, we can always talk more in private. Right now, I need to hurry to a meeting.
I can't let him get away like this. If he doesn't want to tell me, then...
Dare to utter such a threat? Listen here. Leaving aside the fact that you don't have the right to dismiss me, I wouldn't yield even if lead researcher Asta... No! If Madame Herta herself commanded me. Why not threaten to kill me while you're at it? I've said it once and I'll say it again. I will not yield.
Master Capote is so courageous. We're so lucky to be his fans.
He said the exact same thing when he promised Captain Arlen.
Yes, the part about not yielding. It's making me tear up.
I'm gonna print out the transcript of the conversation as soon as I get back today. The fan club needs to recite and memorize it.
Transcript? They recorded Arlen's conversation with Capote. I didn't think a clue like that would suddenly pop up. This is the one who mentioned the transcript just now.
Hey, you've been talking Master Capote's ear off this whole time. Do you want to join the fan club?
I bet you do. You wouldn't have known about Captain Arlen's meeting with Master Capote unless you had an interest.
You even memorized the internal testing content for version 12.0 of Master Capote's Life Wiki.
You must be one of those super fans that stayed under the radar. We've been careless.
We're on the same side after all. Here, this is our latest welcome bundle for new members of the fan club. And I'll toss in an updated version of Master Capote's Life Wiki.
He looks really cool in the new limited edition snapshots.
What happened to you, Arlen? Why did you have to get that sleazy Capote to help you with a trial? Yeah, I guess that's our starting point. Ugh, even the space station handbook doesn't get updated this frequently. Huh. Is this an audio transcript? So, trial of the heart means knowing how to deal with an overbearing boss. So that's how Arlen sees me. I need need to talk to him. Let's hurry up and find him. Peppy, it's your turn again. And the security department staff. There are still remnants of the Antimatter Legion in the space station. Let's go help them.
I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. I'll end your misery.
Reach the end of the story in your own way.
What are you doing here? Then be careful. There's still Legion remnants in the area. Arlan isn't here right now, so we need to step up the space station security. Spare no effort, and stay focused.
Yes, Brother Don Hung.
Yes, he's with March. But I suggest you don't bother him. He's given himself a personal trial.
Brother Arlen's special trial? He's a man among men, a lion among tigers. He's already reached great heights, but still he wants to improve.
That trial. I bet it's even more intense than physical training. And Brother Arlen already challenges himself to the limit in that department. He runs 21,358 meters around the space station every day. An eagle among wolves. Always so hard on himself.
I think it must have something to do with the mind. He probably found a waterfall and asked Ms. March to lower the temperature to freezing point.
No way. Brother Arlen's trial wouldn't be as simple as just standing under a waterfall. I think he wants to learn fighting skills from Miss March.
They're not correct, but not wrong either. Arlan came to me to learn how to manage pressure from his boss. So I sent him to March. If he can manage her, then he has nothing to fear.
I think Brother Don Hung is pretty smart.
Brother Arlen only has one weakness in his armor, but he won't ignore it. He's too awesome for that.
Arlan and I decided to switch our assignments. He went with March to investigate a suspicious crystal, and I've taken up his patrol. That's all. He gave me a pass for access across the space station while on patrol.
I found a broken ceiling tile. This mark? It must be from where Brother Arlen smashed it down!
Move aside, what kind of clue is that? This floor tile I found is way better. Look at the footprint. It's the right size, not to mention the angle of motion. This is proof of Brother Arlen in combat.
If you want to find Arlan, just contact March.
Job pressure? How to manage your boss? Arlen, I'm sorry. I never knew I was giving you so much pressure. I need to feel the pressure he's feeling so I can understand what it's all about. Yeah. We need to find Arlen quickly. I need to apologize to him in person. Peppy? Let's get going.
So Peppy can locate March just by looking at a photo of her. Is he really using scent to track?
What a cute doggy! Oh, you're here too. He was, but not anymore. He wanted to go investigating on his own, so I let him. He kept harping on about Dan Heng being a true warrior or something. Oh, he did say that completing an assignment with me would help him complete the final trial. It felt like he learned a lot from me. Then again, everyone has a lot to learn from me. We were investigating suspicious crystals together, but he said it was all pointless if he couldn't transform himself. I could tell he was giving himself a lot of pressure, so I gave him a suggestion. I told him actions speak louder than words when you want to prove yourself. I was just thinking out loud, really. I had no idea what kind of trial he was doing. But when he heard that, he said Mr. Dan Heng was right. And then he just left. I took a photo of him. He was doing one of those tough guy walks. Come to think of it, maybe I shouldn't have left him alone. Take me with you if you're going after him.
I read that a Stellaron's internal fluctuations will cause a fragmentum to appear. Did Arlen?
Hey, relax. I've seen plenty of Stellarons. It'll be fine.
I hope Arlen is safe. The extent of the corrosion here is a lot worse than I imagined. Mrs. Hinkle did say the cleanup had been slow in places.
The fragmentum has a big influence on the space around it. All this electronic equipment on the station must short-circuit pretty regularly, huh?
disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Tough luck running.
What a headache.
Lands at the ready. Not a scratch.
Can't run! Don't mess with me. A sharp scythe needs targets.
Lady Asta, you... Why are you all here? I've never seen anything like this before. It looks like some kind of new entity. It must have mutated after being corroded.
Great.
Gotta try hard some. Watch this awesome move.
Great.
I'll free you from your...
Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past. Practice is over. Swords descend. A sharp scythe needs targets.
Are you okay, my lady?
Arlen,
Lady Asta? Why are you crying? Are you hurt?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
It's all my fault. I've been putting too much on your plate, and that's why you looked up ways to manage the pressure. I honestly didn't realize that these things would bring you so much stress. I just want to say I'm sorry.
My lady, You didn't give me any pressure.
Arlen, you don't need to hide this from me any longer. He and I know all about the trials you're putting yourself through. If you can't forgive me right now, then I'll reflect further and find a way to prove that I'm willing to change.
But, my lady...
Firstly, your trial of the heart. You went to Professor Capote and asked him to simulate conversations with you so you could better understand your boss. And the evidence is... Firstly, your trial of the heart. You went to Professor Capote and asked him to simulate conversations with you so you could better understand your boss. And the evidence is... this limited edition snapshot. This was taken by a member of the Master Capote fan club less than 24 hours ago. In other words, you went to find Professor Capote today and stopped responding to messages in the same time window.
This is just...
No need to launch your defense. We haven't got to the core yet. This evidence is a bit of a stretch. Do we have anything better? Master Capote's Life Wiki version 12.0. This transcript records what you asked Capote to help you with. Here, we can see a bossy manager and you being asked to do things outside of your job description. Clearly, Professor Capote is unlikely to master my speech or mannerisms anytime soon. Oh, but the content is the key here. I am the source of your pressure!
My lady, I did speak to Professor Capote, and I did ask him some things. But they had nothing to do with you. I've never experienced any pressure with you.
Oh, Arlen, won't you accept my apology? I'll just have to show you more evidence. We know the essence of your trial of the heart, and we also know that you asked Dunhung to help you complete the trial of the mirror. I'm so sorry, Arlen.
Until I spoke with Dan Heng, I never realized how much pressure was on your shoulders.
Miss, I really don't.
Hold it! I have evidence. Your ID pass!
This isn't just any old station pass, is it, huh? There's a very important photo on it.
A photo of Peppy!
Lady Asta, I like Peppy a lot, so
No, Arlen. You don't need to find excuses for your actions. Maybe you've actually convinced yourself. The combination of your simulated conversations with Capote and the entry in your work log about playing Holodisc with Peppy, it points to one thing. Me getting you to look after Peppy is the greatest source of your stress. You even printed out a photo of Peppy to constantly remind yourself to look after him. I know exactly what message you're trying to drill into yourself by sticking this photo onto your pass. Arlen, taking Peppy out to play is an assignment from lead researcher Asta. You better throw that holodisc like it's a full-on discus. If you spare any effort, Lady Asta will find out and punish you terribly for all eternity.
My lady, don't you think that's a long thought to think? Lady Asta, please! I didn't do any of these trials because of you. I always try to complete every assignment you give me, regardless of whether it's within my job description. I really like taking Peppy out to play.
Asta, I don't think Arlan is upset with you.
But Arlen doesn't have any other bosses. Who else would it be? March, he asked to accompany you so he could learn how to manage his stress, right?
What? Arlan wanted to go on assignments just to experience stress? Phew. Good thing I let him go alone. My calming influence would have ruined his training. Guess I made the right decision after all. What did he say? That I'm good at solving people's problems?
Arlen, all I want you to understand is how sincerely I'm reflecting on my actions. Please, accept my apology.
But, my lady...
Stop! Arlen, I understood the level of stress you're dealing with as soon as I saw this photo.
Didn't I take that photo?
I'm always giving you tasks and assignments, but I never actually see how you take to the battlefield. When I saw this photo, when I saw you fighting alone just now, I'm just sorry that I gave you the stress of all my private affairs on top of an already stressful job. Please, forgive me, Arlen.
My lady, I'm very touched, but I started this trial because of Madame Herta.
What?
Whenever she's back on the space station, Madame Herta assigns me things outside the security department remit. Even if I dared to refuse, I wouldn't know how. She's just too overbearing. Whether it's helping her test some new specimen, or looking for ancient documents I've never even heard of. Assignments like those were okay before the invasion. But now, I need to focus on clearing out any last traces of the Legion.
Aha! So you're trying to learn how to reject Herta and then put it into practice.
Yes. I found an anonymous handwritten journal while I was cleaning up. It mentioned 36 different strategies for relieving pressure. That's where I read about the trials. Yes. There were detailed notes, so I wanted to give them a try. I'm sorry, my lady. I didn't want to bother anyone, so I didn't mention it.
So, you don't feel pressured around me?
I've never felt pressured around you, my lady.
All right. It's all a misunderstanding. You two should reflect on your actions. Right? Yep, I always say what I'm thinking. You keep saying that. What did Don Hung even say?
Thank you for helping Lady Asta. And for coming to find me.
You're welcome. Although if you really want to thank me, let me play Hollow Disc with Peppy, please.
Huh? Go.
Let's take it in turns. You rest. I'll stand guard.
You came at a good time. There is something you can help me with. According to my patient records, there are a few that haven't come for their follow-up visits. It happens from time to time, but never as regularly as this. I'm a bit concerned. Have you heard of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society? I agree. Generally speaking, mutual aid societies like these allow patients to share their experiences and support each other. It's a way of countering all the negative emotional effects of being ill. But there might be more to this society than that. I've got a few patients who have started refusing treatment since joining the society. It certainly makes you wonder. And the most suspicious part is that no matter how much I ask, no one's ever willing to tell me anything about it. And that's where you might be able to help. That won't be necessary, but it will help if you pretend to be a patient. Help me investigate this so-called mutual aid society and find out exactly what they're up to. If I find out they're preventing me from doing my job, or if they're bringing harm to my patients, I won't just sit on the sidelines. Can I entrust you with this task? This little clinic has huge numbers of patients to deal with every day. If I didn't have you here to help me out, I wouldn't be able to focus on giving them quality care. Good luck. I'll be sure to thank you properly when you're back.
New drinks, half price on
You. I've seen you in the clinic. You run errands for Natasha, right? Cover? What are you talking about? Let me guess. Natasha wants you to persuade me to go back for a follow-up visit, right? What's the use? I'm terminal. Life will be over before I know it. Of course not. I read it in a book. Every book I read has descriptions that match my symptoms exactly. I can diagnose myself with a dozen incurable diseases before I get halfway through. For people in my situation, a follow-up visit is just a waste of time and money. Not to mention medicine. Mutual aid what now? What are you talking about? What else is there to say? Natasha was seeing me free of charge. She said I could keep a tab running for as long as I liked, then pay it back when I had the opportunity. I guess I'm too proud. You think I need you to tell me? Don't try and persuade me. I've already thought this through. Dr. Vash never charged me anything either. Natasha's great, but Vash was always my number one. You think I don't want to? I heard that he passed away. I should keep my voice down. Don't go telling anyone else about this next bit. I heard that Natasha had something to do with Dr. Vash's death. They say she was jealous that her brother had stolen her patients, so she... It's just something people were saying. I don't think Dr. Natasha could do something like that. Forget I said anything. Since Dr. Natasha sent you over specially, I'll do her a favor. I'll go to the clinic for my follow-up a little later. Bye for now.
Avoiding a follow-up visit due to money issues. I should find another patient to talk to.
What was that? Oh, you'll have to be louder. My ears aren't what they used to be. Everything's muffled. Ah! A follow-up visit. Is that what you're asking about? Natasha's a wonderful girl. She always gives me a thorough checkup. But at this age, it's rather a lot to bear. Even if they could cure me. I'm sure I wouldn't be around for long. No, I don't want to waste anyone's time. That girl's always trying to get me to take my medicine on time. I know her heart's in the right place. My husband had the same illness as me, but he never touched the medicine. He wanted to make sure I had enough. Then, one day, he said he needed to take care of some things at the mine. He never came back. He was forever saying he wanted to go before I did. Ah, selfish old fool. I miss him. Now that he's gone, who cares how long I stick around? You're not wrong, I suppose. That girl certainly spares me no effort. But I always feel like I'm a burden to her. Okay, you win. It's off for another follow-up visit with Dr. Natasha, I suppose. Did you want to say something else? My ears are terrible. Virtual who? All right, I heard you. Do you have to shout? No, I've never heard of any mutual aid society.
avoiding a follow-up visit because of her husband. I should find another patient to talk to.
Why haven't I gone for my follow-up visit? Are you a patient too, or did Dr. Natasha send you over? Who else would care about people like me? I don't need Dr. Natasha's help now. Tell her to save her worries and medicine for other people. A dispute? No. She's the only kind-hearted doctor in the underworld. I just don't really approve of her methods, that's all. Too idealistic and no real efficacy. She tries to save everyone, which means she can't save anyone. In the end, it's the patients who suffer, and she just tires herself out. Miners like me don't have time for lengthy treatments. If I can't take something and get right back to work, I may as well lie down and wait for death to come knocking. Did you, know Dr. Vash? His wonder medicine is cheap, and the results are immediate. You just need to, be willing to, take a little risk. Dr. Vash's medicine is different. Lots of people make a full recovery after taking it, but some get worse, and the unlucky ones check out early. Even knowing the risk, most people fight tooth and nail to get hold of the medicine. You know why? You're smarter than you look. When life forces you to the edge, you'll throw yourself at any opportunity, even if it means risking it all. For people like us, a slow and torturous treatment is the same as a death sentence. If it's between that and a quick result, we'll take the latter. Forget it. Why am I telling you all this? Dr. Vash is dead anyway. What? Now you're interested in the wonder medicine? Listen up. The Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society is still selling that medicine. I can tell you where they trade, but there's a rule. You must not tell any of this to Dr. Natasha, you hear? If you break the rule, you'll face the consequences. Here, take this. It's the address. A final warning. Do not reveal this information to Natasha.
I know where to find the wonder medicine. What should I do next? That patient didn't want me to tell Natasha about this. Should I listen to him?
Hey, where do you think you're going? Medicine? Oh, you mean Dr. Vash's wonder medicine, right? You're the same as everyone else that comes through here. If you want medicine, you don't need to go any further. You talk to me. And we only take cash. This ain't a charity. The Mutual Aid Society sets the price. It might be different from Dr. Vash and his handouts, but it's a darn sight cheaper than that clinic woman's medicine. Well, are you buying or not? Spit it out. I don't have time for chit-chat. Wait a minute. Your clothes. Are you friends with that doctor woman? I've seen you at the clinic before. I know it. Get lost. Now. If you're a friend of that woman, then you're not welcome here. Shop's closed today. No customers.
Wait. What about our medicine? We've been waiting for ages.
Get lost, all of you. Save your breath and come back some other time.
That medicine seller sure closed up shop in a hurry. I should head back and report to Natasha. It's getting late. Where to now?
So the Mutual Aid Society found Vash's research results, and now they're selling this so-called wonder medicine to patients? Any organization doing something like this is interested in more than just mutual aid. As a doctor, I don't accept that. I'm responsible for their well-being. My attitude towards this wonder medicine won't change. What Vash left behind is nothing more than reagents and experimental byproducts. The word medicine doesn't apply here. I warned the patients countless times, but seems like they had their heads in the sand all along. No wonder they kept the Mutual Aid Society a secret from me. I'm guessing the patients you met weren't exactly singing my praises, which is why you tracked the dealer down and made inquiries first. I don't blame you. After everything you heard, I'm grateful you came back to find me. Your trust is important to me. If you're curious about Vash's wonder medicine, you should ask some of the patients in the clinic. See what they have to say about the effects.
Some people say that Dr. Vash was a saint who came from the overworld to help those in need. I don't buy it. People's doctor, that's just what people who've bought into the myth like to say. Vash used to distribute free medicine all the time, but he couldn't have cared less about the people taking the medicine. The hard truth is that we were just his test subjects. It didn't matter if the medicine worked or not. What mattered was having a constant stream of willing lab rats. Of course, I can't control what anyone else thinks. That's just how I see it.
The medicine Vash left behind? That stuff... Can you even call it medicine? I know Dr. Natasha's here, but I have to tell it like it is. Vash had zero medical ethics. He didn't deserve the title doctor. He may have had the capability, but he didn't use it to help anyone. Whenever I went to see him, he never even asked about my illness. He just prescribed me his so-called wonder medicine. If it were you, would you have taken that medicine?
I still haven't worked out how to convey it to you. The issues surrounding Vash. My relationship with him. The things he's done in the underworld. It's a long story. I'm guessing you've heard a lot of different opinions on Vash. What do you make of him? I want you to go and visit another patient, a victim of the wonder medicine. I want you to see the real consequences of abusing that medicine. Once you've understood her situation, come back and tell me what you think. After that, I want to ask for your help again.
Who are you? Who? And who am I? Where's my husband? And where's my child? Where are they? You know where they are, right? You don't know. They don't know. Nobody knows. Where? Where did they go?
Come over here, child. It's best to leave that poor lady in peace. Let me explain. That poor lady. Both her husband and child became ill and passed away. Oh, not terribly serious, but they needed to get treatment every now and then, which did impact their livelihood. In order to try and rid themselves of the ailment once and for all, they bought some kind of wonder medicine. Who would have thought their condition would deteriorate so rapidly after they began using it? The two began to suffer terribly, such that death then became a blessing. It wasn't long before they departed this world, one after the other. From that moment on, she became as you see her now. If Dr. Natasha hadn't taken her under her wing, well, it doesn't bear thinking about. And yet, what more could have been done? They were warned about the medicine. They were told about the risks. And they chose to roll the dice. Talking about it tires me out. At least my husband and I are able to help her where we can. I just hope that one day she can lead a normal life again.
Did you speak to her? By the look on your face, I'm assuming you've come to understand the wonder medicine all too well. Yeah. Be it Vash or the Mutual Aid Society, forces like that can take full advantage of the typical underworld state of mind. Let me tell you a story. There was once a brilliant overworld doctor with unmatched pharmaceutical skill. The doctor was set on developing a medicine that would steel the human body against the cold. He named his research project Blizzard Immunity. But his research met with obstruction time and time again, the biggest factor being a lack of test subjects. Tampering with the human immune system carries huge risk, and nobody in the overworld was willing to submit themselves to such experiments. As such, the doctor got in touch with his sister in the underworld, claiming that he wanted to support the medical effort below ground. Naturally, his sister was overjoyed. After all, as far as medicine was concerned, her brother had always been the standard she'd strive to attain. She brought her brother underground and entrusted him with her clinic and laboratory. I think you know what comes next. Issuing free medicine to the needy was just Vash's way of conducting experiments on his test subjects. On some level, his reagents were able to alleviate the patient's suffering, but nothing more. They would forget their pain for a while and neglect their regular treatment plans. The result? Patients with mild illness would attribute their recovery to the so-called wonder medicine, while patients with serious illness would quickly deteriorate, and sometimes die. I cannot accept that their fate was simply the result of misfortune or risk. No true doctor would accept that. That's why I want you to help me recover all the Wonder Medicine. Are you willing to take on this assignment? Thank you. This will be hard for the people that have come to rely on the Wonder Medicine, but it's up to us to remove this false hope. You mustn't hesitate. Recover every last reagent that Vash left behind. I'll take responsibility for the consequences. Don't worry about that. Go. I'll be waiting for the good news.
Stop right there! No one's allowed up ahead! Oh, playing the hero, are we? Is this a stick-up? Wait a minute, you're that clinic woman's lackey, aren't you? Did you think the Mutual Aid Society didn't have its own intel? She's after our medicine and sent you here to smash the place, right? Men! Look lively and send this idiot packing already!
Yeah! Time for swordplay! Strike with heart!
Told you I could fight.
Who's next?
Reach the end of the story in your own way.
Well, look who we have here. Your reputation precedes you, outsider. I didn't take you for a bandit and a thief. You listen here. I'm the president of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society. The medicine we hold here is lifeblood for many of our members. Are you sure you want to deprive them of that? Those poor patients. Along comes a life-saving wonder medicine only to be snatched away by a shameless bandit like you. The underworld is full of sickness. What would happen if we left it all to that clinic to treat? My Mutual Aid Society has relieved that doctor of patients at the end of the road. Shouldn't she be thanking me? Seems like you are quite bent on dismantling our operations, aren't you? Fine. Seeing as you came all this way, it'd be rude not to give you the opportunity. Men, seize the medicine thief!
How many can you block? Bladed flight!
Told you I could fight.
I'll free you from your chains. Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
Lance at the ready.
Blast it! What did we ever do to you? Why are you taking away our moneymaker?
Moneymaker? So you admit it then? You're not in this to save lives, you're in it to get rich.
What are you doing here? Oh, as if we didn't have enough trouble already.
Selling fake medicine with false kindness. You should have expected trouble to find you sooner or later. I have a responsibility to protect the well-being of my patients. Or to put it another way, I must eradicate any and all threats to them.
You can't save everyone. The underworld is teeming with sickness. How could you possibly pull it off?
You're right. I can't save everyone alone. But if I must, I would sacrifice food and sleep to treat them. The debt that Vash owes to the underworld rests with me. All I can do is help everyone to the best of my ability. To the very end.
So stubborn. In that sense, you're no different from your crazy brother.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Your actions today have saved many underworld families. I'll find a way to dispose of Vash's leftover reagents. Next time the Mutual Aid Society wants to whip up a quack cure, they'll be out of luck. Let's go back to town. I still owe those patients an explanation.
It's getting late. Where to now? Uh-oh. It looks like the patients have surrounded Natasha. Let's hear what they're saying.
What are you saying, Doctor? The wonder medicine is out of supply?
Correct. That medicine is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wildfire has cut off the supply chain. Your ailments need rational, scientific treatment. Relying on pseudo-medicines will only worsen your condition.
Rational and scientific, huh? The way I see it, you're just jealous you lost your patients.
How dare you speak to Dr. Natasha like that? Where are your manners?
Ma'am, please think for a moment. How can you still be siding with her? That wonder medicine was working fine for us, and now it's gone because she wants it to be? How can she?
I understand your anger, but as your doctor, I ask you to trust my judgment. I will find a way to access more medical resources and help you through your struggles. If I must, I'll get help from the surface.
The surface? I almost forgot that you were an overworld big shot.
Have some respect for Dr. Natasha.
If it's respect she wants, she better find a replacement for the wonder medicine fast. If not, I'll tell everyone about how she set up Dr. Vash. I'm out of here.
Oh, you're here. I apologize. That must have made for uncomfortable viewing. I'm okay. If I were in his shoes, I may well have had the same reaction. Now I need to focus on treating the patients and dispelling their doubts. Let's leave it for now. I'll feel a lot better once I've gotten rid of this mess that Vash left us. Now's as good a time as any to tell you Vash's whole story. If there's anything you want to know, don't hesitate to ask. That's a long story. Ever since he was little, Vash had always wanted to develop a medicine called blizzard immunity. He saw the human body's vulnerability to cold as a disease, and wanted to cure it so that humanity could survive the eternal freeze. If he succeeded, people would be able to leave Belobog and rebuild their homes in the snow plains. I do admire his vision and perseverance, even though blizzard immunity always seemed unachievable to me. I knew his research in the overworld wasn't going well. I used to write to him and ask him to come down and stay with the kids in the orphanage for a while. I thought it might help take his mind off his research. But I was too young to know what long-term frustration could do to a person. It changed him in a terrible way. During his stay in the underworld, he met patients affected by fragmentum corrosion with mild symptoms. Compared with non-patients, their bodies reacted differently to hot and cold. And that fascinated Vash. He began to simulate mild fragmentum corrosion, thinking that it could lead to breakthroughs in developing blizzard immunity. Those reagents of his aren't cure-alls for critical illness. That doesn't exist. Vash made the reagents to mitigate the suffering of his patients in the short term. A convenient way for him to observe changes in his test subjects. But behind my back, he had been doling out the reagents to residents who were kept in the dark. When it finally struck me that something was wrong, his terrible research had already turned him into a madman. Indeed. And it all happened under my nose. How ridiculous. My judgment was clouded by trust in a loved one. When his experiments were exposed, I spent a long time with Oleg discussing how to handle the aftermath. This was shortly before the underworld was sealed off. There were hardly any Silvermane guards remaining. We spent ages trying to find a way to handle Vash. In the end, Oleg suggested that we banish him and permanently deny him access to the underworld. Had his victims found out the truth, Vash would have been torn to pieces by furious underworlders. I was young and weak at the time. Oleg must have worried about how I'd react to such a scenario, or he wouldn't have suggested banishment. Looking back, it wasn't. He deserved much worse. Oleg and I took Vash to the overworld. He made his final request to us. To take him outside the city to the snow plains he'd always wanted to conquer. His figure gradually disappeared into the snow curtain. I've been telling myself that Vash is dead ever since. Forgive me. I'm not good at telling stories. Vash was a terrible brother and a worse doctor. That's all you need to know. Let's call it a day. Thank you for cleaning up the mess my brother left behind. Here, for your trouble. Can I talk to you for a moment? I have a favor to ask. Something rather personal. I want to thank you again for recovering the Wonder Medicine. It meant a lot to me. But disposing of Vash's reagents isn't enough to solve the medical supply shortage. Many of my patients can't be seen promptly, and my stock of medicine is running low. Thanks to you, the route to the overworld through the furnace core has reopened. I'd like to use it to return to the surface and see if I can get some help. I knew you'd be interested. Remember my adoptive parents I mentioned to you a while ago? After the reopening of the furnace core passage, I had an idea. I wrote a letter and asked Sampo to deliver it to my parents' old address. I didn't have high hopes, but amazingly, Sampo brought me my mother's reply. That's exactly what I thought when I got her letter. Mom said they still live at the old house, but they're not working on the front lines anymore. They should still have some connections in the medical school and the hospital, though. If I'm lucky, maybe I can convince them to send extra medical supplies to the underworld. Of course, that's not the only reason for me to go back to the surface. I can't wait to visit my parents again, and I can tell from my mom's letter that they feel the same. If possible, I would like you to go with me. Wonderful. That's such a relief. I've sent another letter to my mom telling her to find us near Fountain Plaza. Don't worry, I know my way around the administrative district.
It's getting late. Where to now?
This place doesn't seem to have changed much from what I remember. Oh, there you are. Sorry, I got distracted watching the crowds. Look at the busy flow of people. Life in the overworld carries on as usual, as if nothing has happened. We're a little early. I've got an idea. I want to buy my mom a gift. You're more of an overworld local than I am now. Any suggestions? A play, Sounds fun, but there's a chance it won't suit my mom's taste. Let me think. Oh, yes. I remember there was a florist in the overworld. How about we head over that way? I've been underground for so long, I almost forgot what flowers smell like. Summer. Was that always the name? Seems I was too young to get the irony back then. Sorry. I don't mean to sound cynical. Maybe it simply represents the people's hopes up here. Now that I think about it, sending flowers is quite the tradition in my family. Mom, Dad, Vash, and I, whenever something good happened, we sent each other flowers to celebrate. Do you want to hear a flower story? Each year for their anniversary, my dad would send my mom a bouquet of ball peonies wrapped in red paper. I heard that ball peonies represent love that knows no end. It does fit their marriage. My father is a famous surgeon in Belobog. Because of his fame, people in medical circles paid great attention to his surgeries. He always had a lot of stress to deal with. Each time he finished a tricky operation, my mom and I would buy a single stem of sunshine and then pin it on the chest pocket of his apron. Sunshines represent warmth and love of light. For patients on the verge of death, my dad might have been the only light to penetrate the darkness around them. Vash. Out of everyone in my family, I think he probably appreciated flowers the least. Still, Still, I remember the day he received his offer from the medical academy. My parents took me to the florist, and we bought him the most expensive marquise stem in the shop. When we gave him the flower, he failed to hide his smile. You can't imagine how hard it was to get him to smile. As an orphan, I never knew my birthday. My adoptive parents took me to the overworld and made the day I joined the family my birthday. And each year on that day, my parents would give me a bouquet of first snow. The number of stems represented how many years had passed since I joined the family. I only found out later that first snow represents beautiful memories. My parents gave me a beautiful childhood, and I still haven't had the chance to thank them for that.
Mom will like this.
Oh, first snow, is it? 1 second. I'll get it ready for you. There you go. Sorry for the wait. Hope to see you again soon.
All done? May I have a look? First snow. Thank you. It reminds me of carefree childhood days. Ah, those times were pure and innocent, just like these petals. I knew you'd pick the right flowers. Mom and Dad will be so happy. Let's go. My mom will be there soon. Best not to leave old folks waiting.
You know what I mean. Come around and have a look.
Mom! Nat? Nat, is that you? Oh, come here, my darling.
It's been too long, Mom. Too long. Sorry. I don't usually get this emotional. How have you been, Mr. Oswell? Thank you so much for taking care of my parents these last 10 years.
I'm doing fine, Miss Natasha, just fine. Look at you. You've blossomed into a fine young woman. Such a pity that your father...
Dad, I was wondering where he is. Is he...
It was 3 years ago, Nat. No need to be sad. He passed away very peacefully.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. For 10 years, I left you both in the overworld. Mr. Oswell, I'm sorry you had to bear all this weight.
Don't be, my dear. It is my honor to look after your parents.
It's not your fault that they sealed off the passage between the surface and the underground. Don't be so harsh on yourself, daughter.
Oh, Mom. I have so much to say to you. But, there's an urgent matter that needs your help. I apologize. I wish this were a happier reunion. But there are too many suffering with sickness in the underworld. And you're the only person I can go to for help.
Oh, there's no need to apologize, my child. I've heard of your deeds down there, and I know you've saved many lives. Your father, He would be proud of you. We have many connections in the medical academy. No matter what you need, be it medicine or data, I should be able to get it for you. Be the doctor you always were, Nat. We have all the time in the world to catch up later.
She's always been there for me. With her help, we'll be able to ease the underworld's medical supply shortage. That's good news for patients who'd lost hope. I really wish I could spend the whole day talking to her about the old days. But sadly, now is not the time. Let's head back to the underworld. We need to spread the good news.
Miss Natasha, one moment, please.
Mr. Oswell? I thought you headed back home with Mom. How come...
I apologize, Miss Natasha. As a matter of fact, there's something I have to tell you in person.
Something that Mom isn't supposed to know?
You haven't changed a bit. Smart and sensitive. The fact of the matter is, in the first 2 years after the passage was closed off, I received many letters from Master Vash.
What? Letters from Vash? Are you certain, Mr. Oswell?
Of course, miss. I recognized his handwriting. You'll see what I mean when you read the letters yourself. Actually, those letters were intended for your eyes only. The delivery address was the underworld, but because of the sealing off of the passageway, the letters were sent back to your old house, to me.
I don't understand. Did you not show them to my parents?
I'm sorry, miss. I opened one of them out of curiosity. Master Vash stressed in the letter that your parents must not know what happened to him. That's why I put the letters in a secure place, waiting to hand them to you when we could meet again. I'm not sure if I did the right thing, Miss Natasha. I just didn't want your parents to feel that their son was so close and yet so far away.
Do you have the letters on you, Mr. Oswell? Let me take a look.
Of course, here. You can tell it's the young master's handwriting.
The cold has revealed to me my arrogance. How can a child who grew up in warmth ever begin to comprehend a cure to bitter cold? Vash didn't give up on his research into blizzard immunity, even after he left the city. I live in abandoned houses under broken roofs and continue my experiments. One step after another, I've made breakthroughs. I'm trembling, not because of the cold, but because I can feel I'm getting closer to the answer I seek. If what's in here is true, then Vash must have built a lab somewhere in the snow plains, and even made progress in his research. But how can that be? There'd be no point in him lying to me in the letters. Still, it's possible he may have gone completely insane before he started writing them. I need to leave the city to recover my brother's research data. Are you willing to come with me?
Leave the city? You are taking too much risk, Miss Natasha.
I know, Mr. Oswell, but I have a hero with me. He saved the underworld. I'm sure he'll protect me, right? Vash, it's been so many years. Are you still alone in the blizzard? Oh, ignore me. I'm just talking to myself. Let's go. It's time to face my past head-on. Such harsh cold. It's hard to imagine anyone surviving in these conditions. Unless blizzard immunity is real. Let's hurry up. We need to find any clues that Vash may have left behind before both of us become ice sculptures. Here, this looks like lab equipment. Maybe Vash left it behind. Huh. Still, it's all just used test tubes, beakers, and other vessels. There's no sign of any sample reagents or lab notes for that matter. Oh, I know my brother. He's meticulous when it comes to medical experiments. There's no way he wouldn't document his results. I want to go deeper into the snow plains. Can you press on any further? Gosh, the temperature keeps getting lower, but we can't give up halfway. No need. Don't you underestimate the leader of Wildfire. Let's press on then. This may not sound like me, but I hope that deity the architects worship can grant us some luck.
Citizens? Outside the walls? Hey, you two! Stop right there!
That's a Silvermane guard. Is he yelling at us? Oh, I'd almost forgotten. No one can leave Belobog without authorization. Looks like we need to talk our way out of this.
I can't say you sound suspicious, but I can't just take your word for it either.
Captain, look at her necklace. Maybe she's telling the truth.
It's the same as Dr. Vash's.
My brother does wear an identical necklace. Do you know him?
Are you really his sister? Dr. Vash saved a lot of my soldiers.
Saved your soldiers?
Yes. Take a look at the guards patrolling outside the city. All of them are risking their lives. Aside from the monster-related casualties, we lose men to frostbite every year. But thanks to the medicine the doctor leaves us, my soldiers are able to withstand the cold. They can make camps in the snow plains as footholds for our patrols. If it weren't for the doctor, we would have long since frozen to death.
Medicine. Blizzard immunity.
The medicine is extremely potent. A small vial can keep someone warm for a week. We have over half our stock left. Dr. Vash is elusive. My squad only met him once, and he didn't seem like the talkative type. He leaves the medicine at specific locations, and our patrols go there to collect it. Speaking of the doctor, it's been a long time since we last saw him. At least 2 or 3 years. I hope he's alive and well.
So he really did have a breakthrough in the snow plains. Oh, did the medicine have any side effects for you?
Side effects? Not that I know of. If there were a problem, It'd be that we couldn't go back to the city until the effect had worn off.
Because the city would be too hot for us. We'd break a sweat just sitting idle.
Thanks for the information. We're planning to head deeper into the snow plains to find my brother.
Seems like you've made up your mind. I'd really like to send some of my men with you, but we can't leave our posts. Here, take this medicine. If what you two told me is true, I'm sure you're more than capable of handling yourselves out there.
Thank you, Captain. We'll take it with us. Hold on. That's a big guy over there. Did you see that? There's something on the monster's back. Oh, the blizzard immunity. Shall we drink it? It's your call. I'm ready. Doctor's got your back. Great.
Lance ablaze! Lance! Forward!
Great. Blade and flash! Practice is over. Swords descend!
I'm on guard.
Try that again. My turn. Here. A one-time end. What a headache. How many can you block? Who's next?
It's done. Oh, it was my first time seeing you in battle. You've got some moves, don't you? No wonder you were able to save the underworld. Let's have a look over there. My gut tells me we should find something connected to Vash. These are records of his experiments. It's Vash's handwriting. This must be the location of his final lab. Come have a look. His last experiment was nearly 2 years ago? What happened after that? His notes seem to suggest he was working to improve blizzard immunity. Brother, where are you? What happened? Sorry. I needed to take a moment. After seeing the letters Mr. Oswald kept for me, I was hoping things might have ended differently. I shouldn't have asked you to come with me to such a dangerous place. I do. I can't forgive him for what he's done. Nor can I say I don't miss him. Maybe I should feel glad. The medicine might not have been what he wanted it to be, but it came to something. Maybe he found some inner peace. They'll remember him as a murderer, as someone whose evil experiments brought great harm to the innocent. Vash doesn't deserve to be remembered as a doctor. I know that very well. But maybe this blizzard immunity can now bring benefit to others, even if it was made by a monster. Human beings really are conflicted life forms. I'll take his records and data with me, and continue what he started. One day the world will see a perfect blizzard immunity. Before we leave, I'd like to ask for another favor. The last one, I promise. That should do. Hope it can withstand the snow. You're right. Let me think. Here lies Vash. My brother. That'll do. Thank you for helping me. I feel like a great weight has been lifted. So long, brother. Hope you don't forget Dad's teaching. A doctor does not get to choose his or her patient, my children. Remember, never say no to those who come to you for help. Never.
It's getting late. Where to now?
You are now a conscript of the moles. I'm not a sidekick. I'm second in command. You know what? No, this ain't the time. We got trouble. The boss went to the Great Mine along with her Diggertron. And she refused to let anyone go with her. I feel like she's doing something dangerous. You have to go check on her for us. Diggertron is Diggertron. As long as the boss has it with her, you can expect a good fight. Fursman is in the mines. It seems like the boss heard some bad news about him and then just ran in there. There's lots of bad guys in the mines. Miss Natasha said kids ain't allowed to go in. Go check on her for us now. He's Hook's daddy, and he's like a daddy to everyone in the moles. He's like a great person. Thank you. Please hurry.
Calm down. We're all here to work for a living. Why not sit down and talk it out?
Save it. We treated you as our leader, but look how you treated us.
Such a rat!
You sold the intel about the vein to Antonia, but we discovered it first. Now we lost the mine, and we have to work for those guys.
Traitor!
Well, nothing to say for yourself, huh? So you admit that you sold the intel to the mining team?
Go away, you brute! my daddy!
Oh, little Hook? Oh, no, you have it wrong. It's your daddy who bullied us first. Ask him if you don't believe me.
Daddy?
Yes, I told Antonia about the vein, but I was the first one to discover it. I have the right to do anything with it.
It's only because you have that detector. Let's see who's boss when we take it from you.
Back off. I was thinking about the bigger picture when I did that. Unlike you all who just look for trouble every day.
Well, I think someone needs to teach you a lesson. Guys, get him!
You'll never lay a finger on Daddy without passing through Hook. It's you! Come and help Hook!
Another punching bag? Fine by me. I'll kick all your butts!
I'll end your misery.
Daddy, are you hurt?
Just a few scratches. How about you, Hook?
Don't worry about me. I have Diggertron. No one can hurt me.
Good. That's good. And you, young man, are you hurt? Thank you for your help. Don't be afraid, young man. Your injury isn't fatal. I remember. You are the outsiders Natasha mentioned before, right? I heard that you helped resolve some conflicts around the mines when you arrived. And again today, when you saved my life. Whatever your motivation was, I appreciate your help.
Daddy, let's go to the old witch's clinic. You're seriously hurt.
But the vein detector that rapscallion was after, somebody already stole it from me. I need to keep searching, otherwise I might never see it again. It's just a tool. I guess I should let it go. Let's head to the clinic.
It's getting late. Where to now?
I've taken care of your wounds. I'm running short on medical supplies these days, though, so behave yourselves and stay away from trouble. You hear me? Don't pretend you didn't hear that, Hook. I'm talking to you.
Hook wasn't the one that caused trouble. It was those bad guys. We were just defending ourselves. Ask him. You traitor.
Well, passing the buck is one way to handle this. That's enough for now. I'll say this one last time, Hook. If you cause any trouble again, I'll take Diggertron away. Do you understand?
Hook understands.
The boss of the moles should stick to her word. I have patients to take care of. See you later.
Thank you again. If it weren't for you and Dr. Natasha, Hook and I probably would have been in big trouble. Well, a few days ago, I found a geomarrow vein using a vein detector, and I sold this info to Antonia, a supervisor of the mining team. Then, Those vagrants heard about it and accused me of being a traitor. They believe that since I'm also a vagrant who came from another mine and ended up in here for a living, I should naturally be on their side. The mining team could not agree with that, of course. I'm just too old for this.
Daddy? Are we short on money? Why did you do that?
My poor child. Daddy is old now. Who knows how long I can stay by your side? I have to start preparing for your future. People say I'm selfish, think I'm a traitor, but it doesn't matter to me. All you need to know is when I'm gone, you will have the money to take care of yourself and survive on your own.
Daddy.
Forget about it. Since I've got the money from the mining team, I have nothing to complain about now. It's just a shame that I lost my vein detector. It was indeed a treasure. I guess so. It's an ancient relic that can detect geomarrow veins. It's very rare. I haven't seen a second one in my life. I often carried it around looking for a new claim. I suppose some villains must have taken notice. Anyway, I guess I don't need the detector anymore. The less trouble, the better. I shouldn't care who stole my device. Whoever it was, I hope they get good use out of it.
Hook seems to be giving me a look like, I want to talk to you outside the clinic now. So that's why people call eyes the windows to the soul.
Wait! Hook needs you to help with something. Yes! We can't just stand by and do nothing. That detector is Daddy's treasure, so I gotta get it back. You'll help me, won't you? Alright then. I'll be waiting for you at the shelter in the mine, big brother. See ya! Too slow, honorary member of the moles. You should have gotten here before Hook. Let me introduce you to Sweta. She is Daddy's most trusted miner.
Not at all. Mr. Fursman trusts every vagrant, and every one of us trusts Mr. Fursman. But after what happened over at that geomarrow vein, the atmosphere at the shelter became a bit tense.
I'm here to find Daddy's treasure, his vein detector. I heard that someone stole it. Is that true?
Well, I would guess that's probably true. After the conflict in the mine, Wildfire gathered everyone out of the shelter and took a head count to check on the wounded. 4 people were not there. When we returned to the shelter, Mr. Fursman's detector was gone. We searched all around the shelter but found nothing. I guess one of those 4 people was the thief. Yes, the shelter was usually crowded, so thieves would have had a hard time stealing things when everyone was around. We vagrants have our dignity too. I'm sure we will catch the thief, but...
But... what?
Actually, we've already asked those 4 suspects about it. But they all claim to not have stolen anything. Of course, we could never expect thieves to confess and turn themselves in, right? In my opinion, one of those 4 was lying. I agree. All 4 suspects are at the shelter. If you're feeling confident, why not give it a try? Maybe you can determine who the thief is.
Adults are so dishonest. Hook's gonna question them one by one.
Well, well, well. What's this? Playing detective, are we?
Spill it! Did you steal my daddy's detector?
You little brat. How dare you label me a thief? Someone needs to give you a good lesson on manners. I'm an honest and decent man. I'd never do such a shady thing.
Anyone can say that. If you really didn't steal anything, then just answer our questions.
Oh, you have a temper, huh? All right, I'll spare a couple minutes for your little detective game. I'm a cook. What else would I be doing? Don't you notice the smoky cooking smell all over me? It's just that I happened to be out shopping for ingredients at that time. Otherwise, who'd want anything to do with this kind of thing? That old Fursman was kind to me. When we were at Rivet Town, he put me in charge of the whole mining team's food supply. And it's because I trusted him that I came to this mine with him. I mean, I didn't expect he would take that money for himself. Anyway, he found that geomarrow vein by himself, so I won't blame him for not sharing. But you know, what he did was not like the old Fursman I knew. Well, I don't want to be a snitch, but out of my respect for Fursman, I'll tell you a secret. The helper over there, I saw him sneak into Fursman's tent and come out holding a box. See? Isn't he the most suspicious one? I don't care if you believe me or not. I've told you all I know. Now leave me alone if you don't have any more questions. I'm busy.
Did you steal Daddy's detector?
Nope. I'm no thief.
Really? Then you better answer our questions honestly.
Ask away. Let's not waste time. Spacing out. Didn't notice anything. Good man. But a bit of a cheapskate. Nope. What detector?
Hey, would you mind talking more nicely?
What? I always talk like this.
I don't feel like she's the thief. Well, it's the hunch of Pitch Dark Hook the Great.
Hook? What's the matter?
Did you steal Daddy's detector?
What? Oh, if I'd known I would become a suspect, I wouldn't have gone out at that time. How foolish of me. Of course not. I didn't do anything wrong.
We just need you to answer a few questions.
Okay. Ask away. It would be good to clear myself of suspicion. Nothing special. I just went out to get some fresh air. Oh dear, oh dear. I know that's a lame alibi, but I swear it's the truth. Mr. Firstman, he's a good person. Though... Oh, never mind. Oh, no, no. I must sound very suspicious, but I really didn't do anything. You have to believe me. Detector? No, I haven't seen anything, and I don't know anything. Is that all the questions you have? Have I proven my innocence? Oh dear. All this waiting around is enough to make me even more anxious.
Did you steal
real daddy's detector.
What? How could you say that? You're gonna make me angry. You know what a businessman values the most? Reputation. If your slander ruins my reputation and harms my business, you'll pay for that.
Well, then answer our questions. We'll decide if we believe you or not.
I have the right to remain silent. I withhold my opinion toward this question. No comment.
Ugh, you... I'll give you one more chance. Think carefully and give your answer to Diggertron this time.
I've seen all sorts of things in my life. Why would I be afraid of you two little rascals? Here, how about we make a deal? I'll tell you what I know in exchange for a small intel service fee. Fair and honest. Well, looks like I can only continue exercising my right to remain silent. It's up to you. Try to threaten me with wildfire, huh? You think I'm afraid of them?
Let's tell Zila to take him away.
Huh? No, please don't. I was only joking. Fine, I'll answer your questions. Please just don't pull wildfire into this. I went into town to restock. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? I restock on a regular basis, everyone knows that. I was wondering why there was nobody at the shelter. Versman is an old customer of mine. He's pretty nice to me, though we are not so close. As to what he did about that geomarrow vein, it was kind of unethical. We're all neighbors. We've known each other for a long time. But he sold out to the other side and left his own people out to dry. I really can't agree with that. Look, the cook is definitely the thief, I'm sure about that. I value my reputation more than anything, so you can trust me. In my line of work, I've learned to read people. And something's definitely fishy with that cook. I could tell from the start. If you don't believe me, just ask anyone.
Hook's head is spinning. Do you remember everything they said?
Don't worry, I've written it all down for you. Remember, among these 4 people, only the real thief would lie. The cook said the helper did it. The tailor said it wasn't her. The merchant said it was the cook, and the helper said it wasn't him. So, do you know who the culprit is?
I don't know why, but I'll trust your judgment. Come on, let's go accuse the culprit. Huh? Where's the cook? Where did he go?
Beats me. I saw him running out in quite a panic.
That guy has to be guilty. Where is he running off to? Oh yeah, I saw Mr. Sampo on the way to the mine when I came here. Could he be involved in this? Follow Hook! Mr. Sampo should be that-a-way. Mr. Sampo's always at the clinic hanging around Miss Natasha. Hook thought he was really sick or something. If he's working with the thief, then he's also a bad guy.
My friend, are you serious? This device is quite rare. Are you really willing to sell it to me at such a low price?
No, why are you making this so complicated? Do you want it or not? Just tell me.
You two stop right there! Pitch Dark Hook the Great has arrived!
Just doing a little business. What's all the fuss? Oh, boy. I knew it was too good to be true. I gotta make this clear. I have nothing to do with this fella. You have to trust me. Miss Hook, please, don't point that thing at me. It's scary.
Hey! How can you sell me out like that? We had a deal!
You stole Daddy's treasure! Diggertron will not spare you.
This is all that old Versman's fault. Just because he has this device I'm holding, he can make a fortune. It's not fair!
Well, it seems you guys have some issues to sort out, so maybe I should leave.
The heck if I care! With the underworld in such a sad state, how are we supposed to survive if we don't resort to robbing and stealing? Anyway, I got the device now. Come take it, if you have the guts.
Diggertron, get ready. Don't mess with me.
Blade and flight! Told ya I could. You sure talk tough for someone who can't fight. Come on, hand the detector over to Hook. Huh? No, Daddy's treasure! It's broken!
Hey! Now this is Sampo's time to shine. Of course! I wouldn't want to miss out on seeing you and Miss Hook's acts of heroism, would I? Listen here. There's a fellow in Bouldertown they call Balloway the Miner's Lamp. He's an appraiser. Although he claims that he doesn't do appraisals anymore for ancient relics, he actually still does a bit behind the scenes for ones that are of especially high value. I think this device of yours is probably worth a lot. It might be a good idea to try your luck with Balloway. Here's a trick. First, pretend that you want to sell it for a low price, then wait for him to excitedly fix the device for you. After it's fixed, tell him you changed your mind and you want to keep it for yourself. This business tactic is what I call a bait and switch. Pretty clever, huh?
Balloway the Miner's Lamp. Got it! Thanks, Mr. Sampo. Let's go into town to find him.
Have a safe trip!
It's getting late. Where to now?
I'm already retired from appraising ancient relics, so unless this detector is some kind of precious treasure...
Look at this! The detector's probe broke off. Can you fix it?
Oh, ho ho, this certainly is a rare relic. Let me take a closer look.
Yes! Look extra close. You have to help Hook fix it.
This device... I've been in the business for a long time, but never have I seen an ancient relic like this one before. I think this is probably beyond repair. But still, it is a rare treasure. Even broken, I'd be willing to pay a high price for it. What do you say? The detector's probe is gone. It's like searching for something without eyes or ears. Who's going to want a pile of junk? I don't believe any other stores will buy it off you. Come on, I'll give you a nice deal.
All right then, let's go find Daddy.
Where have you been, Hook? I was just about to go looking for you. Come on, let's go home. I'll cook some salt-baked rock crabs for you. What's wrong with this kid? Vein detector? The one I lost?
Big Brother and Hook helped Daddy catch the thief that stole it. But Daddy's detector is broken. It's all my fault. If only I could have found it sooner.
So it was stolen. You're not hurt, are you, Hook?
I'm fine. Daddy, can you see if your detector still works?
The geomarrow probe is damaged. I'm afraid this thing won't work anymore.
I'm sorry, Daddy. I didn't help one bit.
What are you apologizing for? Thank you so much for looking out for me, Hook.
But Daddy's treasure.
Don't cry, Hook. Daddy's true treasure has been here all along. It was never lost or broken.
Even you know what it is?
The detector helped me find lots of geomarrow veins, and it saved the mining team a lot of money. In that respect, it was a very good thing. But at the end of the day, the detector is just a tool. A true treasure must have irreplaceable importance to someone.
Hook doesn't really understand.
That's okay. I'm saying some things that might seem strange, but you will understand someday.
So, the treasure Daddy's talking about
is still happily running and jumping around.
Daddy! You're not allowed to see Hook cry! Go away! Honorary member of the Moles, listen up. Thank you for helping Hook find the detector. But now, Hook needs to ask you another favor. Hook and Daddy's birthday is approaching. Every year at this time, we exchange gifts and celebrate our birthday together. Yeah? What's the problem? Daddy's job has been more difficult since moving to Boulder Town. He gets home really late every day. I don't want to use his hard-earned money to buy a gift. Hey, are you patronizing me? Actually, I still have some valuable treasure of my own in Rivet Town. It's a shame I left it there. If I go bring it back and sell it for a decent price, I can buy a gift for Daddy without begging anyone for money. What? Oh, what nonsense. This is an order from the boss of the moles. An order. And I'm still a kid. You wouldn't let me go inside the Fragmentum by myself, would you? Then it's settling. Let's meet in Rivet Town. I'll be waiting for you in a safe spot. You're not allowed to not come. What took you so long? Hook's been waiting here for ages. Oh, okay, whatever you say. As long as you're here now, it's fine. I got some good news and some bad news. Which do you want to hear first? I told the rest of the moles about the plan, and Julian asked me to get some treasure for him. If we don't help him, he'll tell the old witch where we've gone. The good news is that he's willing to contribute to our adventure. Look, he gave me this gardening shovel. No, what nonsense. No, nobody scares Pitchdark Hook the Great. Well, the treasure won't grow legs and find us, will it? Come on, let's go. Julian's adoptive parents used to own a business in this area. When we were all forced to leave the town, there were lots of things they didn't have time to take with them, so... It shouldn't be too hard to locate his treasure. Let's start by looking over there. Ah, we found Julian's treasure! No, not the key. These glass marbles. Oh, look at all the different colors. Bet it wasn't easy collecting all these. No, these marbles are what he's after. I'm also curious. What does this key open? Oh, let's ask Julian when we get back. What's that look on your face? Oh, I get it. You don't think this jar of glass marbles is worth anything, right? Don't even try to pretend otherwise. The look on your face sold you out. Let me tell you something. This jar of marbles means a lot to the moles. Julian used it to help the moles overcome a super huge crisis for which he was promoted to second in command. It was a super huge crisis that jeopardized the mole's honor. In the past, the kids in town were arch rivals to us at the orphanage. Those kids used to bully us, relying on the pocket money that their parents gave them. One time, they sent us a formal declaration of war, challenging the moles to a marbles competition. We were all well aware that we didn't stand a chance. We at the orphanage only had some old glass marbles we scavenged from the side of the road, which are no match for those rich kids' marbles. Nonetheless, Julian bravely accepted the challenge and triumphantly returned with a pile of colorful glass marbles he won. It was incredible. After that epic story, that's all you have to say? Ugh. I've been better off telling a stone-grilled Olm instead. All right, enough chit-chat. Next, we need to find my treasure. Time to get to work. Hook's treasure is hidden below the orphanage near the mine's entrance. This doesn't feel like the Rivet Town I remember. Do you think the orphanage is like this now, too? This place is nothing like it was before I left. Boxes and minecarts are all over the street. What a mess. Oh, did someone move my treasure, too? I used to keep it in the mining team's junk pile. Behind the corner, there were heaps of geomarrow and boxes. Hopefully it hasn't been taken. Why are you so lazy? I'm so unlucky. Look, it's in this box. This miniature drill rig was given to me by a guy from Daddy's mining team as a birthday present. I'm going to turn it on. Whoosh! It won't turn on. Look, just don't talk to me right now. I need to calm down. I said don't talk to me right now. I need time to think. Honorary member, I wonder, how much do you think Julian's glass marbles would sell for? What? Did you think I was serious? I wasn't actually planning on selling these marbles. Besides, they aren't even worth much. That might work. But it'll be pretty expensive to fix, right? Not possible. Daddy said that guy went missing one day and he never saw him again. Maybe he went someplace far away. I have no idea when he'll come back, so that definitely won't work. Oh, wait a second! I hid another treasure at the orphanage! I don't want to sell it, but if I want to buy Daddy a gift, I don't have any other choice. Honorary member, please help me look for it. Just one more time. I promise this is the last time. Let's go. Why are there so many monsters here? We need to deal with them first.
So you are afraid of me. I'll end your misery. How many can you block?
Tough luck running.
Don't mess with me. I'll end your misery. Time for swordplay. Blade and flight.
My turn.
I'm on guard.
You can't run. Wait, let me take a look at my notes. I marked the location where I stashed the treasure. It's a reward from the old witch. You'll know what it is after I dig it up. Go down the stairs on the left, then walk 10 paces forward. Turn right, walk another 15 paces, spin around 10 times, then keep walking forward. Oh no! I'm doomed! The second half of my notes are completely ruined! Oh, what kind of lame treasure map would it be if it only had 1 or 2 steps? Without forgot the second half of my notes. How will I ever find the treasure? Really? Quick, let me see.
Let's use the home use object finder to help Hook search.
Beep, beep, beep! Finding the home use object finder at your service. Please say the target object you want to search for.
Oh, wow. This little thing, it can talk?
Wow, you can talk as well, little thing.
Huh, aren't you sassy? But if you can help me find my treasure, I'll let it slide. What's this? Oh, looks like something is written on it. For Julian, 50 years in the future. Whatever. Since we've already dug it up, let's open it. Really? Oh, the old witch did say that some things will emit a poisonous gas after being buried for a long time. Okay, forget it. Let's not open it. Here it is! My teddy bear! The old witch gave it to me as a gift. Yes! He's called Junjun. Whoa, Junjun. How did you get covered in dirt? And why do you have so many loose threads? If we don't get you cleaned up, no one will buy you. Well, of course! The old witch said Junjun isn't just any old teddy bear. I haven't learned to sew yet. I'll have to ask the old witch for help. If she finds out I went somewhere I shouldn't have gone, Hook will get lectured all over again. But so what if the old witch yells at me? Hook still has to prepare the gift for Daddy. We found the treasure. Let's split. The monsters here give Hook goosebumps. Ooh, too scary. I'm warning you. Don't you dare tell the old witch about Hook's plan to sell the treasure.
It's getting late. Where to now?
Hook? What are you...
Natasha? Junjun's in bad shape. Can you help me fix him?
I remember giving you Junjun. I haven't seen this fella in years. Where did you find him?
The wind brought him back to me.
Be honest with me, Hook.
Big Brother helped me find him in the Rivet Town orphanage.
You had him take you to the Fragmentum just for this teddy bear? Hook, how many times have I told you?
Natasha, please. Please help me fix Junjun. I'll clean the clinic for you for a whole month.
You say that every time, and then...
Great! See you soon! Big Brother, I'll leave Junjun with you.
What am I going to do with that girl? You shouldn't indulge her, outsider. I know it's difficult to tell Hook no, but sometimes it just has to be done. Junjun. So she gave her bear a name, huh? I've lost count of all the dolls I've made. To be honest, I wasn't expecting her to like this one so much. It was an award I used to give the kids in Rivet Town for good behavior. Can you imagine what an orphanage is like with so many difficult children? I had to come up with a solution to get them to behave. Hook pretended to be well-behaved for a month in order to get Junjun. She ate on time, slept on time, even stopped fighting with the other kids. Of course, as soon as she got her award, she went straight back to her old self. Hook has an uncanny ability to rally people to her cause, both adults and children. It's a skill, all right, and forcing her to be well-behaved puts a lid on it. Well, this teddy bear has sure been through the wars. Don't worry, I'll help Hook repair Junjun, but I'll need to find some stuffing. Wait, look at the eyes. Ugh, please don't say that. They must be Erebus? Huh. Strange, I didn't notice when I sewed them on. There's no shortage of surprises in life. Well, our war-torn bear here just became a priceless doll. Not bad, Junjun.
Did the old witch yell at you? What? Why'd she only yell at Hawk? Never mind that. You didn't tell her what I was really up to, did you? Well, I'm aware of that. I just didn't want to upset her. Anyway, why are you still standing here, silly? Do you have something to report to the boss of the moles? Gems? Does that mean he's worth a lot of money? What are you talking about? Of course I do. If the gems are expensive, Hook can buy a better birthday gift for Daddy. I don't want to keep Junjun's eyes. If some kid gets a Junjun with no eyes, they'll be sad, right? Anyhow, this is super useful intel. If you've been with the moles a bit longer, I'd be promoting you to third in command right now. I'll need your help again after Natasha fixes Junjun. Always be prepared to answer the call of Pitch Dark Hook the Great.
Love at first sight, sold at first strike. The Wildfire used item auction is opening soon. If you are interested, head down to the Vagrant camp and get involved. Outsider! I remember you. Perhaps you're hoping to find some treasures at the auction too. We're not sticklers at this auction. You'll find everything from exotic Bellabog rarities to tattered roadside socks. Oh, plenty. Gloves used by Chief Oleg, the domestic robot that Miss Fedora built. There are lots of prospectors hunting for ancient relics in the Vagrant camp, so there should be a lot of unique items at this auction. For example, I heard that one of the goods up for auction is a barely used geomarrow probe. Ah, never heard of a treasure like that before, huh? More excited about the auction now? Oh, here, take this pamphlet. It has more information on all the rarities up for auction. Remember to stop by the Vagrant camp. Be there, or be square.
I should tell Hook about the geomarrow probe. She might want to help Fursman get his treasure back.
How do I remember? was just about to go see you. Daddy's already planned his birthday party, but I haven't been able to sell Jun or buy a gift for him. What should I do? Honorary member, you think of something. I was just about to ask you about the probe. Honorary member, you found some clues? The auction. So that's where the probe is? That's nothing. You're here too. I've got the honorary member here to help me with the bidding. Jun is still with the old witch. Let's go get him and then register for the auction. Stupid witchy old... Natasha! Have you finished fixing Jun?
Oh, your teddy bear? He's nearly done. Here, take a look at him.
Wow, he looks brand new! Natasha, you're incredible.
Glad to be of service. Now then, did you really bring him over here with you just to pick up Jun? Come on now, what are you guys up to this time?
We're going to the auction. No, that's not what we're going to do. Hey, you big mouth.
The auction? The one at the vagrant camp? So you made me go through all this effort to repair Jun just so you could sell him?
Psst, honorary member, think of something.
You two make an adorable duo. I was only joking, Huck. Jun is yours, and it's entirely up to you what you do with him. But you must make one promise to me.
Wait, what is it?
Don't go charging into the Fragmentum again. Mr. Fursman heard about what you did and came to me to find out what happened. Your dad worries about you. Stop giving him reasons to.
Daddy? Okay. I swear I'll never meet Natasha or Daddy worry again.
I'm going to have to trouble you to keep an eye on this kid again. You seem to be doing a good job, so I'll leave it at that. Off you go then, and good luck.
Thanks, Natasha. Honorary member, let's head to the auction.
Welcome! Are you here to take part in the auction?
Yep. Huck wants to auction this teddy bear.
Teddy bear? How about I take a look at it first, little missy? With all due respect, I don't think this item will generate much interest at the auction. I don't see any value in it. Okay, let me take another look. The craftsmanship is excellent, and the fabric is soft, but I'm afraid that won't command a high price on its own. The eyes. Wait a minute. That's natural Erebus. What are precious gems doing on such an ugly teddy?
Hey, who are you calling ugly? Take that back.
Well, who'd have thought it? Allow me to make a suggestion. You should only auction off the gems.
What are you talking about? You can't just take Jun's eyes off.
All right. Don't get upset, little missy. I'll respect the wish of the owner and keep Jun here intact. Please, sign this commodity contract here.
Let me do it.
And if you and your friend would like to bid, please fill out this buyer registration form as well.
Of course we'd like to bid. I'll sign again. Honorary member, ask about the probe.
Probe? Are you talking about the Geomarrow probe? As far as I know, there are a lot of people interested in acquiring that device. The estimated sale price is no less than 600 shield.
Stop bluffing!
Because it's a rare and useful treasure, the Geomarrow probe will be up for bidding in the final round of the auction. But don't worry, the gems on your teddy bear are also very valuable. You'll have the chance to bid on the probe if someone's willing to pay a high price for him. Don't be so pessimistic. I'll tell you a secret. The more bidders there are, the more you can get for your bear here. The place is teeming with potential buyers. It only takes a gentle nudge to get them to join in.
Hook doesn't get it. What are we supposed to do? Yeah, Jiggertron's all set and ready to go. Let's ask around. Junjun's super cute. I'm sure there'll be loads of people interested in buying him. His design is super cute, and he's really, really soft. You can't help but give him a big hug. You'll have sweet dreams every night as long as Junjun's by your side. Intrigued? According to the old witch, some people aren't good at talking in front of other people. Why not ask him to write his thoughts down?
Here. Right.
Well, look at that! That's no ordinary teddy bear. Wait, how did you know that? Unless you're a fellow gemologist. Yes, I didn't think anyone else had noticed. I guess getting my hands on those gems won't be so simple after all. But it's so absurd. I don't understand why precious gems would be sewn onto a teddy bear. Is this some new kind of scam?
So you don't think Junjun deserves those gems?
Junjun? Who's that? Why didn't you bring that up earlier? Your item has piqued my curiosity. In any case, Erebus of that purity is hard to come by in the underworld. I have to get my hands on that bear, even if it means breaking the bank.
Junjun will break your bank for sure.
The gemologist will be bidding too. Hook's teddy bear may be the center of attention.
Don't try making conversation with me. I don't trust anyone here. I'm warning you, there's only one winner at an auction. Everyone here is one of my competitors.
What a weird man.
I'll take that as a compliment. You think I can't hear you, you little brat? You're Sellers, right? I just got sight of a teddy bear on the bid list. Is that yours? You two with your poker faces. You got a trick up your sleeves with that bear.
This guy thinks that the whole world is against him. What should we do, honorary member?
Trying to dupe me into not bidding on it, huh? Fine, then I will bid on it. I won't let this opportunity slip.
We could find the auctioneer now and kick off the bidding. Although there's still some time left. We could also see if we missed any buyers.
Has anyone seen my grandson? Oh, finally! Don't run off again. You're such a disobedient... Oh, how many times have I told you to stay close to me? You'll get lost. Oh.
Help!
My eyes might not be up to much, but I can assure you my brain's working just fine. My grandson is right here. Come on, let Grandma see that cute little face. Oh, for the love of... You're not my grandson after all. Well, then where has my darling grandson gotten to? Oh, dear me. This is dreadful. Dreadful.
So, why you hanging around here by yourself, Tiny?
Yeah, Tiny. Where are your parents? You didn't go out on your own, did you?
But you brought me over here. My grandma's just over there.
Hey, did we give you permission to speak? All right, enough, Mr. Nice Guy. Give us the money, now!
You dare steal from a kid in front of Pitch Dark Hook the Great? Let's see how brave you are against Diggertron.
Huh. Looks like someone's trying to be a hero. Boss, they look rich. We should rob them too.
Agreed. Get him!
Strike with heart! I'll free you from your... Disappear among the sea of butterflies. Illusions of the past.
You're safe. Go find your family.
That was really brave of you. I hope I can be half as strong as you someday. Thanks so much, guys. I gotta go.
Isn't this the kid we just saved?
Oh, it's that brave girl. Grandma! Grandma! They're the ones who saved me.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't even begin to express my gratitude. Thank you both so much. He's my only grandson, and I don't know what I would have done.
Can we buy the teddy bear at the auction, Grandma?
I'm sure that teddy bear must have belonged to a nice person. Let's go and take a look. If Grandma wins the auction, don't tell your parents I bought it. Let's pretend it was a gift from this kind young man.
Grandma's the best.
Aw, they're really sweet. Junjun will be super happy if they take him home. Anyway, we should get going. Come on, honorary member.
came because I heard there was an auction, but there's nothing I want here.
Teddy bear? I've seen it. The one with the Erebus eyes, right? I was planning on bidding for it. Correct. I rushed over here from a neighboring town and forgot my darn wallet.
Well, that can't be helped.
But I also have my own items to auction, and a commodity contract. If I can sell my stuff at a good price, I might be able to afford the bear.
So, what's the catch?
The catch is, I lost the contract.
Well, that can't be helped.
Not so fast. I know where the contract is. A robot stole it. And now it's lurking somewhere in the machine graveyard. And I'm too terrified to go after it. Just my luck. If I can't retrieve the contract, I won't be able to buy the bear. I heard there was something called a geomarrow probe at this auction. But I didn't think it would be so pricey.
Where did you hear that? What is a geomarrow probe exactly?
I'm not sure. But it was Balloway that told me. I'm not sure why he wants it. So expensive. There must be a lot of people after it for the price to skyrocket like that.
Oh, who cares about that probe thing? There's a teddy bear at the auction that looks pretty valuable.
What's so appealing about a toy? We're clearly operating on different wavelengths.
How many can you block? Blade and flight!
Tough luck running into
Lance
me!
ablaze! Lance! Forward!
My turn!
I'm on guard.
Try that again!
What a headache. Who's next? Time for swordplay!
Tough luck running into me!
Lance at the ready.
Is this a contact that careless guy lost? Let's give it back to him.
When am I gonna catch a break? Huh? But that robot stole it. How did you...
We defeated the evil robot and got your contact back.
Really? Thank you so much. Now, if I can just sell my items, I'll have enough money to bid on the Erebus Teddy. You two have done me a huge favor. I won't forget it.
Please wait a moment. The auction will begin shortly. The next item has been provided by Hook, a gemstone collector from Boulder Town. It's a handmade teddy bear adorned with Erebus. An innovative design, it combines incredibly valuable Erebus gemstones with a good old-fashioned cuddly teddy bear. The opening bid is 300 shield.
325!
Oh, you're adding 25. Isn't that...
Hey, what's the problem with 325? That's my offer!
350! I'll add another 50!
And I'll add 50 to that!
I'm putting my reputation as a gemologist on the line. I have to get my hands on that Erebus.
Add another 100 shield!
550 going once, any buyers going higher? 550 shield for the Erebus teddy bear going twice, any other offers? 550 shield going 3 times, and sold!
Phew, the gems belong to me.
I hope this money is enough to buy the probe. That's true, but I want to help Daddy get his treasure back.
The bidding for the Geomarrow probe has been postponed due to unanticipated complications at the venue. Please be patient and don't leave the auction if you want to bid on it. Don't worry, everyone. Just a minor technical issue. We'll take a quick break now, and the auction will resume soon.
A break? Do you think there's something wrong with the Geomarrow probe? Let's go ask that staff member. What happened to the Geomarrow probe? You tell me right now, straight away, immediately.
There's nothing to worry about. It's just a technical issue.
You don't sound very convincing. Did someone steal it?
Well, we can't say for sure that it was stolen. We've contacted the seller and sent some people in search. We should soon be able to...
Yeah. Why wasn't Wildfire keeping a lookout? I gotta catch the thief and get the probe back. Any ideas, honorary member?
Are you suggesting that someone altered the registration form? That's simply not possible. We've been keeping a close eye on everything.
Fool! What the honorary member means is that the thief only came here to create trouble. They weren't interested in buying or selling, right?
I don't have a salary to give. I'm a volunteer. Wait a minute. Let me see. Aside from you, there was someone else who registered as a buyer but never put in a bid. And I think there was a miner who registered with him. Come on, let's go and interrogate them. Hi, excuse me. May I ask where the miner who registered with you is gone?
Him? I think he went back into town.
So, he already ran away.
He came here saying he wanted to buy the Geomarrow probe, but then he changed his mind for some reason and ran back to Boulder Town alone. I don't know him all that well. Why don't you just head into town and look for him?
Do you really think he'll turn out to be a thief? I'm not so sure now. Anyway, outsiders, you should go and look for him in Boulder Town. I need to make sure the other buyers haven't left. If you don't find anything, the thief might still be among us.
Let's head back to Boulder Town and catch the thief.
It's getting late. Where to now?
Hey, you! Did you take the Geomero probe? Hand it over right now!
Huh? What? Who are you? Where are the people I'm supposed to meet up with?
Honorary member, we shouldn't waste any time talking to him. Let's just knock him out.
What could a couple of brats do to me? Do you even know how much the probe is worth? You two better think twice. The boss put in a lot of effort to find this item. If you even...
Enough talk! How about a Jiggertron knuckle sandwich?
What a headache.
Gotta try hard sometimes. Watch this awesome move!
So you are afraid of me. I'll end your misery. How many can you block?
Okay, enough! I give up, okay? Stay calm! I'll give you the probe, just listen to me. I overheard the auctioneer say that the Geomero probe would fetch at least 600 shield. 600 shield! Have you ever seen that much money? You? Yeah, right. I don't believe you. How about this? The boss, along with a few buddies and I, we put together 600 shield and buy the probe from you. Hmm?
No! Hook won't do that!
Come on, Missy. Don't be so stubborn. We can talk it over. I see. You just want to keep the probe to yourselves, right? And here I was thinking I'd met some nice people. You're worse than I am.
Maybe it did in the beginning, but things have changed now. Let's go, honorary member. Back to the auction.
Wait a minute. You're just gonna give it back? That's 600 shield! 600! At least think about it!
There's nothing to think about, Mr. Thief. I want this detector, but I don't want to be a louse like you. We're gonna win it at the auction fair and square. Let's go.
You got the probe back? Amazing! Fantastic! The owner asked me to pass on 150 shield as a reward for retrieving it. And thanks to you, the auction house has regained its credibility. Please, accept an extra 50 shield.
That's 200 shield! Really?
You've earned it. Besides, if you win the bid for the Geomero probe, you'll have paid back the seller anyway, right? Well, I didn't say that, but you could certainly interpret it that way.
Hook generously accepts the reward. We've got 750 shield for the auction!
Ladies and gentlemen, the technical issue has been resolved. The second half of the auction is about to commence. Please gather in an orderly manner.
The next item up for auction has been provided by a veteran prospector from the Vagrant Camp. It's an ancient relic, a Geomero probe. The item itself was once a key component of another old world relic, and its one-of-a-kind craftsmanship has long since ceased to exist. This meticulously preserved probe is a rare work of art. The opening bid is 400 shield.
450!
480!
$5.20?
$5.50?
$5.60?
Order? You're just throwing bids out at random.
$6.50?
$700?
$7.20?
Everyone's looking at us. What should we do? $7.50?
$7.50! Did you hear that, everyone? That's what a one-of-a-kind treasure costs. $7.50 shield going once. $7.50 shield going twice. $7.50 shield going 3 times. And sold! Congratulations to the winner!
Honorary member? Did I win the bid? Does Hook really get the probe? Hook actually won the bid! Big brother, thank you so much. Hook would never have won the probe without your help. It doesn't matter whether you're an honorary member or not. Just accept Pitch Dark Hook the Great's gratitude. Let's go see the old witch later. I'll ask her to wrap this probe up as a beautiful gift for Daddy.
It's getting late. Where to now?
Hook, you look very happy. Did something good happen?
Mine and Daddy's birthday party is starting soon. Can you help me wrap up this gift? I want to surprise Daddy.
You rascal. You only come and find me in situations like this.
Please, Natasha. I'll help you clean the clinic for half a month if you help me.
Deal. I can't believe you won such a valuable item. Junjun must have fetched a small fortune, huh? Even with the Erebus, you must have put in a lot of effort to get such a good price. Fursman will be very happy with his gift. By the way, Hook, how are your birthday party plans coming along? Have you invited this young man?
Oh, not yet. Big brother, do you want to come to my birthday party? Of course not. All members of the Moles must obey Pitch Dark Hook the Great's commands. I'll contact the other members of the Moles, too. Come find me when you're ready. We'll go together.
Boss, the big hero you mentioned is here.
Julian, knock it off. Nothing? Hook would never compliment an honorary member behind their back. We were talking about the birthday party. You want to hear about it too?
I do hope you will forgive the ramblings of an old man, but I would like to say a few words. I had no idea when my birthday was before I adopted Hook, and I most certainly did not celebrate it. I didn't realize how important birthday celebrations were until I met my daughter. That is why I chose to have my birthday on the same day as Hook, so that we could celebrate this special day together. That continued year after year until I too began to look forward to the party. Today is an extra special day. In addition to the Moles, Hook has invited a dear and brave new friend. I hope you have a wonderful time at the party today. Natasha told me that you helped Hook retrieve a teddy bear. It used to be that Hook could only fall asleep when she held that bear in her arms.
Daddy, don't bring that up. Hook's grown up now. I can sleep without hugging June.
Life has gotten increasingly difficult since we left the mining town. All those days away at work have meant that your dad hasn't always been around to look after you. But fortunately, June was always with you, to keep you company when I wasn't around.
Oh, Daddy, I have to tell you something. I sold June.
Huh? You sold him?
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I don't need a doll to keep me company anymore. Natasha, the moles, and the honorary member will keep me company from now on, so I won't be lonely.
You sold him. I truly am an incompetent father. I had no idea.
Not true. I know you care about me the most, Daddy. I just didn't tell you because I didn't want you to worry.
Thank you, Hook. But the birthday gift I've chosen is,
Huh? What did you get for me, Daddy? This... a teddy bear's cap, clothes, and a dresser? And a little home for him.
Toy-making companies are increasingly scarce this year. I had to travel to different towns. I never expected June might have been sold. What a shame.
It's okay, Daddy. Don't cry. Natasha will teach me how to make another doll. Oh, yeah. I got a gift for you, too. Open it and take a look.
For me? I'm curious. It's the Marrow probe.
He got me to bid for it at the auction. I bought it with the money I got from selling June. With this, you should be able to repair the vein detector. Right, Daddy? Daddy?
Thank you so much, Hook. Daddy really likes this birthday gift. But, I might not be able to use it right now.
Huh? Well, why not?
It's like this, Hook. I bought your gift with the money I got from selling the vein detector.
Huh? So, my gift is also useless.
Oh. Hook, do you still like the gift I got for you?
Of course! Your gifts are the best in the world!
Well, I feel the same way about your gift, Hook. Me and you are in the same boat.